What is obesity? Obesity is a medical condition characterized by an excess accumulation of body fat to the extent that it may have a negative impact on health. It is commonly measured using the body mass index, BMI, which is a person's weight in kilograms divided by the square of their height in meters. A BMI at 30 or higher is generally considered indicative of obesity. Obesity is a complex condition influenced by various factors, including genetics, environment, behavior, and metabolism. It is often associated with an increased risk of various health problems, including 1. Cardiovascular diseases. Obesity is a major risk factor for conditions such as heart disease and stroke. 2. Type 2 diabetes. The risk of developing insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes is higher in individuals who are obese. 3. Certain cancers. Obesity has been linked to an increased risk of several types of cancer, including breast, colorectal, and endometrial cancer. 4. Joint problems. Excess weight can put additional strain on the joints, leading to conditions like osteoarthritis. 5. Sleep apnea. Obesity is a common cause of sleep apnea, a condition characterized by interrupted breathing during sleep. 6. Psychological and social effects. Obesity can also have psychological and social consequences, including low self-esteem, depression, and social stigma. Addressing obesity often involves lifestyle modifications such as adopting a healthy diet, increasing physical activity, and behavioral changes. In some cases, medical interventions or surgical procedures may be recommended, especially when other methods have not been successful, and obesity poses a significant risk to health. Preventing and managing obesity is important for overall health and well-being, and it often requires a multidisciplinary approach involving healthcare professionals, nutritionists, psychologists, and individuals themselves. Is obesity defined by your weight? While weight is a key factor in determining obesity, the definition of obesity is more specific and takes into account both weight and height. The body mass index, BMI, is commonly used to assess whether an individual is underweight, normal weight, overweight, or obese. BMI is calculated by dividing a person's weight in kilograms by the square of their height in meters. The World Health Organization, WHO, has established the following BMI categories. Underweight, BMI less than 18.5. Normal weight, BMI 18.5 to 24.9. Overweight, BMI 25 to 29.9. Class 1, moderate, BMI 30 to 34.9. Class 2, severe, BMI 35 to 39.9. Class 3, very severe or morbid obesity, BMI 40 and above. So, while weight is a component of the BMI calculation, the index considers both weight and height to provide a more standardized measure of body composition. It's important to note that BMI has its limitations, and factors such as muscle mass and distribution of fat can influence the interpretation of BMI results. Other assessments, such as waist circumference and body fat percentage, may also be considered in conjunction with BMI for a more comprehensive evaluation of an individual's health. What is morbid obesity? Morbid obesity is a term used to describe a more severe and advanced stage of obesity. It specifically refers to individuals who have a body mass index, BMI, of 40 or higher. For morbid obesity, the BMI threshold is 40 or above. This level of obesity is associated with a significantly increased risk of various health problems and complications. Morbid obesity can lead to serious medical conditions, including cardiovascular diseases, type 2 diabetes, certain cancers, and respiratory issues. It can also impact a person's quality of life, mobility, and overall well-being. Medical interventions, such as bariatric surgery, are often considered for individuals with morbid obesity. When other methods of weight loss have not been successful and when obesity poses a significant risk to their health, these interventions aim to reduce the amount of food the stomach can hold or the absorption of nutrients, helping individuals achieve significant weight loss and improve associated health issues. It's important for individuals with morbid obesity to work closely with healthcare professionals to develop a comprehensive and personalized approach to address their weight and health concerns. How is childhood obesity assessed? Childhood obesity is assessed using a variety of measures to evaluate a child's weight and body composition. One commonly used tool is the body mass index, BMI, which is calculated by dividing a child's weight, in kilograms, by the square of their height, in meters. Unlike adult BMI categories, childhood BMI is age and sex specific, and the results are plotted on growth charts. The general steps for assessing childhood obesity include: calculate BMI. Plot on growth charts. The BMI forage growth charts developed by organizations such as the World Health Organization, WHO, or the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, are used to interpret the BMI results. These charts provide percentiles that indicate how a child's BMI compares to others of the same age and sex. Underweight, less than the 5th percentile. Normal weight, 5th to less than 85th percentile. Overweight, 85th to less than 95th percentile. Obesity, 95th percentile or higher. Assessment of other factors. While BMI is a useful screening tool, it does not provide information about body fat distribution or other health-related factors. Other assessments, such as waist circumference, may be considered to provide additional information. Clinical evaluation. A healthcare professional, such as a pediatrician or a registered dietitian, may conduct a comprehensive clinical assessment, considering factors like family history, lifestyle, dietary habits, and overall health. It's essential to note that BMI is a screening tool and not a diagnostic tool. A high BMI percentile may indicate a potential concern, but further evaluation is needed to assess a child's overall health and to determine appropriate interventions or strategies for addressing any weight-related issues. Interventions often involve lifestyle modifications, such as changes in diet and increased physical activity, with the involvement of healthcare professionals and family support. How common is obesity? Obesity is a global health concern, and its prevalence has been increasing in many countries over the past few decades. The rates of obesity can vary significantly between regions, countries, and demographic groups. Global prevalence. The World Health Organization, WHO, reported that, globally, the prevalence of obesity nearly tripled between 1975 and 2016. In 2016, more than 1.9 billion adults, 18 years and older, were overweight, and of these, over 650 million were obese. Regional variations. The prevalence of obesity varies widely across regions. Generally, higher income countries tend to have higher rates of obesity. However, obesity is also a growing concern in many low and middle income countries. Children and adolescents. Childhood obesity is also a significant concern. According to the WHO, in 2016, over 340 million children and adolescents aged 5 to 19 were overweight or obese. Trends. Obesity rates have been increasing in both developed and developing countries. Factors contributing to this trend include changes in dietary patterns, reduced physical activity, and environmental factors. Monitoring and addressing obesity at the global, national, and community levels are essential for public health. And efforts to prevent and manage obesity involve a combination of policies, education, and healthcare interventions. How does obesity affect my body? Obesity can have wide-ranging effects on various systems of the body, and it is associated with an increased risk of several health conditions. The impact of obesity on the body is complex and can affect multiple organs and physiological processes. Here are some ways in which obesity can affect the body. 1. Cardiovascular system. Increased risk of heart disease and stroke. Elevated blood pressure. Abnormal cholesterol levels. 2. Endocrine system. Increased risk of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. Abnormalities in glucose metabolism. 3. Respiratory system. Increased risk of sleep apnea. Decreased lung function and increased breathlessness. 4. Musculoskeletal system. Increased stress on joints, leading to conditions like osteoarthritis. decreased mobility and increased risk of falls. Five, gastrointestinal system. Increased risk of gallbladder disease, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD. 6. Reproductive system. Irregular menstrual cycles in women. Increased risk of infertility. Complications during pregnancy, including gestational diabetes and preeclampsia. 7. Cancer risk. Increased risk of certain types of cancers, including breast, colorectal, and endometrial cancer. 8. Psychological and social effects. Reduced quality of life and well-being. Increased risk of depression and anxiety. Social stigma and discrimination. 9. Inflammation. Obesity is associated with chronic low-grade inflammation, which can contribute to the development of various diseases. 10. Immune system. Impaired immune function, leading to increased susceptibility to infections. It's important to note that the effects of obesity can vary among individuals, and not everyone with obesity will experience the same health issues. Additionally, genetics, lifestyle factors, and overall health play a role in the degree of impact obesity has on an individual. Addressing obesity through lifestyle modifications, such as adopting a healthy diet and increasing physical activity, is crucial for reducing the associated health risks. In some cases, medical interventions, including weight loss medications or bariatric surgery, may be recommended. It's advisable for individuals with obesity to work with healthcare professionals to develop a personalized plan for managing their weight and improving their overall health. What metabolic changes occur in the body due to obesity? Your metabolism is the process of converting calories into energy to fuel your body's functions. When your body has more calories than it can use, it converts the extra calories into lipids and stores them in your adipose tissue, body fat. When you run out of tissue to store lipids in, the fat cells themselves become enlarged. Enlarged fat cells secrete hormones and other chemicals that produce an inflammatory response. Chronic inflammation has many adverse health effects. Obesity leads to a variety of metabolic changes in the body, affecting how the body processes and utilizes nutrients. These changes can contribute to the development of metabolic syndrome, insulin resistance, and other related health conditions. Here are some key metabolic changes associated with obesity. 1. Insulin resistance. Obesity is often linked to insulin resistance, where the body's cells become less responsive to the effects of insulin. Insulin is a hormone that helps regulate blood sugar, glucose, levels. When cells are insulin resistant, it can lead to elevated blood glucose levels, which may contribute to the development of type 2 diabetes. 2. Dyslipidemia. Obesity is associated with alterations in lipid metabolism, leading to dyslipidemia. This often involves elevated levels of triglycerides, reduced levels of high-density lipoprotein, HDL or good cholesterol, and changes in the composition of low-density lipoprotein, LDL or bad cholesterol. Dyslipidemia is a risk factor for cardiovascular diseases. 3. Inflammation. Chronic low-grade inflammation is a common feature of obesity. Adipose tissue, fat, releases pro-inflammatory substances, and the immune system responds, contributing to systemic inflammation. This inflammatory state is associated with insulin resistance and other metabolic abnormalities. 4. Adipokine imbalance. Adipokines are hormones produced by adipose tissue. In obesity, there is an imbalance in the production of adipokines, leading to increased levels of pro-inflammatory adipokines and decreased levels of anti-inflammatory adipokines. This imbalance can contribute to metabolic dysfunction. 5. Leptin resistance. Leptin is a hormone that plays a role in appetite regulation and energy balance. In obesity, individuals may develop resistance to the effects of leptin, leading to disrupted signaling and an inability to regulate food intake and energy expenditure effectively. 6. Elevated free fatty acids, FFAs. Obesity is associated with increased levels of circulating free fatty acids. Elevated FFAs can contribute to insulin resistance and inflammation, affecting various organs and tissues. 7. Hepatic steatosis, fatty liver. Excess fat accumulation in the liver, known as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, is common in obesity. NAFLD can progress to more severe liver conditions, including non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, NASH, and cirrhosis. 8. Impaired glucose metabolism. Obesity is often accompanied by impaired glucose tolerance, where the body has difficulty managing and regulating blood glucose levels. This can lead to the development of type 2 diabetes if not addressed. These metabolic changes are interconnected and contribute to the increased risk of cardiovascular diseases, type 2 diabetes, and other obesity-related health complications. Lifestyle interventions, including weight management, a healthy diet, and regular physical activity, are crucial in addressing these metabolic abnormalities and improving overall health. In some cases, medical interventions may be considered under the guidance of healthcare professionals.